Well, I want it to have a presence, you know. An image like that, I think, needs a little more oomph. Um, and I think if it's small, it's easier, not necessarily overlook, but it becomes something very different. It's sort of more intimate and a little more quiet. And I think that image in particular, and both what it symbolizes and the associations I think that are going to come out of that image, I think needed to be large. You know, it needed to be sort of upfront, especially in the context of the show. That image became sort of a hinge piece for me. You know, in a lot of ways, it took the longest. It was like 6 months, and by the end, I was ready to murder someone or myself. It's like, oh my God, can't do this anymore. But this image of this sort of agrarian farmer, and I think I might have written this sort of agrarian farmer, sort of working in the fields, rugged, you know, and identifying with that in some ways as something that we in America love. It's like we love our farmers and they can do no wrong. None of that is true, of course. I mean, like, there's some problems, of course. But this like super romantic image, and then you find that in a culture that we tend to stereotype and place a lot of our hatred on. Some of that founded in sort of events, and some of it totally irrational. There's no nuance or complexity there, and I think an image like that forces you to see some of that nuance. Like, well, look, you can't make these massive assumption stereotypes about people. And I like that the article was from like 77, and how fast, like, that's a long time, but not really that long in the grand scheme of things. Like, how fast things have changed. Like, it's a National Geographic article. Like, they went there and tooled around, and I was like, doo, no problem. You know. And now it's like, it's totally, of course, the politics and all that stuff are totally different now, and I like that connection. I think that the image sort of raises, and with the little title, with the title of the article, like an eye for an eye, like Pakistan's wild frontier, like how much, like that again, that frontier connection. You know, there's like this westward thing that is, I mean, I think present in this show and a lot of my work recently, that sort of manifest destiny, that expansion, this wild frontier, this crazy place that is, like, every country's probably got a wild frontier to a degree, and I just liked finding that in an image of Pakistan.